come check out owlsherbs.com where we have all of your herbal needs and different variety of products from sea moss to black seed oil and a different variety of products for different health issues because your health is your wealth. Purchase the Millionaire Savings Plan available on Amazon.com and BrokeGeniuses.com. Learn how to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle, get out of debt, save more money, achieve your financial goals, and live a better life.
What's going on today? We're going to be talking about something very, very important. This is pretty much an exclusive. So, apparently, there is an uptick. It's not the first time I'm telling you this. There's an uptick in car payments being basically in arrears. People are basically falling behind on their car payments at a very, very high record. Okay. This is why this is important. If an average individual is behind on their car payment, it kind of opens the door towards other things being behind on credit cards, being behind on uh bills, like utility bills, insurance payments, and then also ultimately mortgage payments. Okay, so a lot of things that when you find out basically how you can indicate when there's financial problems, financial issues, right? A lot of times it's like kind of very similar to what people say the biggest purchases are in your life. Most people say the biggest purchases are a car and a house. Okay, ultimately, the house is one of the biggest purchases you will make, right? So, when you're falling behind on your car, okay, nine times out of 10, you're behind on other things as well. You're behind on, basically, you're like most people are behind on either credit cards, they have credit card debt, and then also other debts, basically that could include monthly utility payments, that could be also even just just everyday living items such as gas, such as food. I mean, it basically kind of is it's a warning sign. It's like a red flag. When you get behind on your car payment, you are in trouble. You are very, very much in a state of despair. So I am going to be reading an article on Bloomberg that basically is something that is very, very alarming. So a lot of this is just kind of just to kind of stay abreast of what is on the horizon, so you can kind of take some steps to try to tighten your financial house. Make sure that you have what you need to kind of steady the waters. Because this thing it's basically, you've been hearing a lot of people talking about it's a recession. We are either coming in a recession or there is a current recession. You know, pretty much it's getting really really bad. From what I'm seeing, just on a national level to a local level, is that people are very very desperate. People are um doing a lot of crimes that basically is based off of trying to get some type of money to pay for some type of bills, or to avoid sleeping on the street basically. It's really really bad, and some of those people get caught and then they get locked up, and then their families have to come up with bail money, and then it's just kind of a cycle that is just kind of a downward spiral. And it is a situation where it just kind of spirals out of control to where people are getting their cars stolen, people getting robbed, uh, even not even in areas where you would think that people would be getting robbed. It's people starting to get robbed in areas where normally there's no robberies. People getting robbed in broad daylight. Well, a lot of that is a testament to kind of what things are going on economically, and when it comes down to people losing their cars and ultimately possibly being late on rent. It goes into a situation where basically the house is next. um I'm not really into cars right now. I plan to. I have some ambitions to kind of get into cars more, as far as buying them and reselling them. But really, what my eye is for, if been following my channel, it's definitely real estate. It's always pretty much real estate. And a lot of times, like I said, once once the cars are an issue where people can't pay for them, that means that's a call for help. That's definitely a red flag to where that triggers not being also able to pay rent, and ultimately paying a mortgage as well. So I'm going to read this article. This is from Bloomberg. It is talking about the Americans that are behind on their car payments. So this is January 27th, uh, 2023. Americans fall behind on car payments at a higher rate than in 2009. In case you probably are, maybe too young to know, or 2009 doesn't strike you as anything of significance. Uh, 2009 is pretty much during the Great Recession, or some people call it the mortgage crisis, basically, or the mortgage crash of 2008 2009, where basically what happened was, it was a big huge bubble that bursted, where mortgage companies was giving out mortgages to just about anybody that qualified. They were, the mortgage loans were packaged in highly advanced uh, financial tools that were called financial derivatives. Basically, what they were was a bunch of mortgage loans, just basically mortgage debt packaged in a highly advanced financial portfolio that was called basically a derivative that was being sold on the stock market and being sold to other countries, other hedge funds, private stockbrokers, all across the board. And basically what these were was a bunch of highly volatile, risky loans that basically ultimately led into people not being able to pay for them. Because what ultimately happened was, people, basically a lot of people lost their properties, people lost jobs. It was a very, very severe recession to where a lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people couldn't even find jobs. It was very difficult to find jobs. And ultimately, people lost their homes, and they were not able to pay for those um, loans that were packaged in these derivatives. And basically, they were um, a just basically a huge bad investment rolled into a package to where whoever had them was basically getting sour grapes. So that crashed the market worldwide, and definitely people could not pay their car payments. I mean, it was, record repossessions. I would even say, not just to be transparent, I even lost my car during this time. So yeah, it was really, really bad. It was one of the reasons why I took the path to learn everything I could about finances, because I didn't want this to ultimately happen again. And I also wanted to be on the offensive when it happened again, as well as the defensive, so I can ultimately make some money off of this. Because you know um, there's a lot of people as well as companies that have gotten stronger after the 2008 2009 mortgage collapse, also known as the Great Recession. So let me read this article. Losing his car was just the beginning. And this is basically Bloomberg. Automobile repossessions are climbing as inflation forces struggling consumers to make tough choices. So, losing his car was just the beginning. When 21-year-old Kobe Hatch walked outside his Chicago home in December and couldn't find his 2013 Dodge Journey, he knew it had been repossessed. He'd been falling behind on payments for months. Without a car, he couldn't do his job as a delivery driver for Amazon and got fired. Now he's struggling to make his rent payments and can't afford groceries even with food stamps. Okay, like I said before, when you when you're having problems with your car, okay, that leads to other things like being having problems with rent. And of course, if you lose your car, pretty much that alone is something that can also make the situation even worse to where you can't even do your job. A lot of people require their vehicle in order to do their job to get to work. Okay, that's basically what I said without even reading the article earlier.
Message.
All right, so it reads further. It has been very stressful for the past few months. He said inflation has really taken a toll on people. Hatch is part of a growing cohort of Americans facing auto repossessions, an ominous sign for the U.S. economy. During the pandemic, a surge in used car prices forced buyers to take out bigger loans for their vehicles. The monthly payment seemed doable in an era of stimulus checks, a tight labor market, and surging stocks. But that's changed for many people as inflation eats into their budgets and job market cools. Okay, so now more Americans are falling behind on their car payments than during the financial crisis. In December, the percentage of subprime auto borrowers were who were at least, you notice how they didn't say buyers, they said borrowers. Basically, they ain't bought no car. They're borrowing money to get a loan. They're getting a loan and they're borrowing money to pay for a car. They ain't bought a car. They're borrowing money, right? Using credit, getting a loan. And yes, see, these are financial terms that, like, let me just pause this for a second. A lot of times people will say, "I bought a car." No, you didn't buy anything. Buying a car is you go into a car dealer and you get them cash, you get keys, you fill out, all of your paperwork, and then basically they mail off your title, transform or transfer your title information in the mail, and then you get your title in a month or two. This is totally different. This is, you're borrowing money, taking out a loan, and you're getting a car loan. And once you pay the car loan, you get your car. Eventually you get your title in the mail and it's paid off. So that's a big difference, because a lot of people try to kind of defraud people using words. Words are very important. People have to, kind of play the game and try to pull a fast one on people to make them seem like they're actually buying a car. And when you haven't bought anything, you just basically bought a loan. You became a borrower. Kind of like, it's really kind of, maybe it kind of makes you like, people need to start saying this more. You're a car borrower. You're a, because it kind of makes you, if you really think about it, kind of makes you feel like a bum, like you gotta, borrow money to get a car. You gotta bring back the wordage. Make it accurate. You're a car bum that borrows money to get a car. I mean, I got nothing against people to get car loans, because basically, probably, I would say, what, more than 75% of Americans get car loans to get cars. I'm not going to talk about 75% of Americans. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, yeah, when you borrow money, somebody on the street asks you for $1, you call them a bum, right? Well, you ask the loan company for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. You know, would by that same logic, ain't you a car bum? Okay, I'm just saying. Just in the comment section, let me know if I'm right or wrong. But anyway, let me read this further while I detangle something from my headset. Um, it says basically auto borrowers were at least 60 days late on their bills when they rose to 5.67 interest rates, up from a 7-year low of 2.58 rate in April 2021, according to Fitch Ratings. That compares to the 5.04% in January 2009, the peak during the Great Recession. Rise in auto delinquencies. Percentage of borrowers at least 60 days late on their car payments is rising. Okay, so they got it back to 1994, all the way to 2020 and 2021. So it's basically spiking. So they're saying back in 2009, it was spiking, um and it dropped in, looks like, the early parts of 2021, and now it's spiking again up. It's an uptick of people late on their payments. So there you have it. Okay, there you go. This, like I say, this is definitely a red flag. It is something that you should really look out to. Try to, like I say, be offensive and defensive about this. And it is something that you should look out for. Um, car prices are actually, from what I've been hearing from car dealers, they are the big car dealers are under pressure to try to continue to sell their cars for that same higher price, but they are crumbling and going to have to fold, because basically what's going on is that people are not buying these high priced cars, and then they're starting to get a flood of repossessed cars in the market. So once the repossessions start coming in the market and flooding the market, that pressures cars to actually drop even more, because it's just more cars on the market. um People are just going to have way more options, so it's going to be very interesting. And then, unfortunately, those people that are like the case of the gentleman in the article. He was behind on his car payment and also ultimately got behind on his rent payment. Okay, that's gonna be millions of people. Okay, that's just one person amongst millions of people across the United States that's going to have very similar issues with their rent payment as well as their mortgage payment. So that's going to be a problem as well. So I'm already hearing issues where people are getting a flood of evictions, that are being filed, being processed. Like I said, this is definitely something that's very serious. It is very much of a big deal. It's more important than you know relationships or who likes who or who don't like who, because it becomes a situation where the very neighbor that you live around, he might be, losing his house or her house, their car, is going to affect people around you, and it's going to, basically starting affecting you as well. So being on the offense and defense, to have some type of financial plan is going to be paramount to navigate these issues. I definitely suggest that you try to, you know, fine tune your budget. If you don't have a budget, I have a 2 week budget that is in my description. It's in the description of all of my videos. It's very good for you to plan your bills and pay off of what needs to be paid, so you get a roundabout idea of what you need to pay off, and kind of plan your paychecks so you know where everything is going to go, so you don't have any surprises. It's only $2. I mean, it's less than the price of a cup of coffee. Very, very good budget Excel spreadsheet template you can use. You can, once you download it, you can share it with all your families and friends, and then you can get them on a 2 week budget. Or basically, it's not 2 weeks, but it's basically a bi-weekly, or whenever you get paid, it's basically your next two paychecks, or whatever. If you're in business, your next two, um you know whatever you get, every if you get paid every week or whatever the case may be, it just, you can kind of like schedule things out on a bi-weekly or weekly basis. So it is very, very good. It's basically, I use it in when what I find myself when I use the 2 week budget versus a monthly budget. A month is a very, very long time, you know. So I find myself kind of just kind of shooting a little bit more on the hip when I go monthly. But when I break things down to uh bi-weekly, or at one particular time I used to get paid every week, um I would basically kind of schedule things out a lot more precise, and have no surprises, and plan out what I need to spend my money on, and what bills I'm gonna have coming up, and just basically stay on top of it. So, like I said, it's like $2. Okay, the price of air in your tires. Okay, to vacuum out your car. You can get this budget Excel spreadsheet, like I said, and kind of stay up on top of your finances. So you know where exactly your money is going. You got everything planned out, and then you can tell people no, because you absolutely know that what you're gonna have, when you're gonna have it, and you know what to say if you need to say it. And for some people like myself, I mean, you are kind of more to have things more together than others. You could plot how much you need to put in your savings, and you know um you could put money in your brokerage accounts and stuff like that, right? Well, the 2 week budget always also helps with that. You can know, okay, this is how much I have to put in my brokerage this week. This is how much I have to put in savings this week. So it helps with that as well, if you have some type of surplus, right? So yeah, that is also helpful, in basically also my book, The Millionaire Savings Plan, is definitely a must read and a must have, because you don't want to um not know what you're doing, and you definitely want to have some type of savings plan so you can have money for emergencies, if not nothing else. If more, just basically so you can actually, you know, get rich. I mean, let's just face it. We all want to get rich, right? But some of us playing the lottery. Well, I'm not against anybody that plays the lottery, but how about you basically be your own lottery ticket and start this savings plan and you know save more money than you ever saved in your life like I have. So this is just basically a reminder of what's to come. Definitely, like I said, if I just want you to comment in the video if I'm wrong, like in the next few months. I want you to double back to this video and just tell me, okay, I told you so, if you can.